This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
We are winding down the summer, although not that you're worried about it because it means we're ramping up for football season.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I say, like vinegar coming out of my mouth, go Clemson.
Go Tigers.
I'm a Virginia Tech Hokie through and through. Despite the sad, pitiful performance we've been putting on for decades, I stay loyal to my team.
Mm-hmm. And we've got this, this anticipation, right? Because it's all hype right now. You never know how good are the boys going to be.
That's the thing that people love about college football. There's no guarantees.
That's right. That's right. Especially now with the NIL, it's like, okay, we got a new team. Like, who are these people?
Right.
And so you kind of have usually some of these cupcakes, but Clemson, we've got LSU coming up. I don't know who the Hokies have, but a lot of big games here early on, and you just let's go spot the ball. I'm ready.
Pray for the best. And then if you're a Hokie, prepare to endure. That's how it's felt the past few seasons anyway.
Yes.
Hopefully, whomever you're rooting for this season, good luck and Godspeed to everybody's favorite team.
Now, I must say for the Gamecocks out there, I'm going to be going to some some South Carolina games. I am engaged to a Carolina fan, So I really am now.
Did Amy go there, or is she just a big fan? She's from South Carolina.
She lives there.
Got it.
And went to Lander, a small school. I went to Winthrop.
Yep.
So we got all the schools covered.
Got it.
But yeah, so she's a big Gamecock, and she's that's like it keeps it fun, like a nice kind of banter.
Healthy, right? A little healthy competition.
There's a lot of these house divided flags, and I see cars everywhere. Yes. Auburn, Alabama. Georgia Tech, right? Just everywhere.
Yep. We're all in it together. It's the spirit of the season and college football.
Yes.
So as I was saying, good luck to your team, whomever it is that you are rooting for. When it comes to rooting for you on an individual basis, Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen, that is what he is here to do. That's the thing I love about you, Brandon. And we always talk about the plans that you build, how it's your job to be pessimistic, but you're also such an optimist at heart. Your nature is so optimistic. You're such a cheerleader.
Yes.
But when you build plans, like we gotta plan for recession, we gotta plan for catastrophe, so that way we know if those things are built in, you're not going to be thrown off in your financial plan.
That's right. Then you can be optimistic and take risk with a measured amount there, because everything else is taken care of and planned for.
Right. Let's talk about risks then. We look for risks as far as growth opportunities in our working years. And when it comes to your investments in your 401k, probably you've got some tech stocks, if not a lot of tech stock invested. What's making up the so-called Magnificent Seven still continues to dominate the market, Brandon. But investment advisor Gary Kalpam was telling Fox Business it also brings greater risk. Here's what he said.
One of the main characteristics of when possible trouble looms is when things narrow to the point where just a few are really carrying the ball. And I got to tell you, 7 stocks are 64% of the NASDAQ 100. And even more amazing, those same 7 are 34% of the S&P 500. Think about that. A lot of people are calling it the S&P 493 right now, separated from those 7. But when a lot of money goes out of most and into a few, I think you getting closer to a pullback of some sort, and we'll just take it as it comes.
It's an interesting point because we always talk about you want to have the right amount of balance, but even the market is off balance because of the Magnificent Seven, Brandon. So when you see this in a client's portfolio, what do you do to help spread the risk without losing the growth potential that we need? 20, 30, 40 years of retirement, that's a long time. We got to factor in some risk.
Yeah. It's a delicate process in how we do this. And to give everyone a visual, the Magnificent Seven, it's almost like a movie poster, a Marvel movie, with all the superheroes, there's 7 of them. Captain America, and it's everybody there. You got NVIDIA, Apple, Google. Tesla.
A vision in my head.
Yes.
Perfect.
So that's your Magnificent Seven. Play the music, the movie music there, and then all the commoners is the S&P 493, right? All these low citizens of this universe, right?
Every man and woman.
Yes. So they're just like picking up the crumbs, and you got the big superheroes.
Yep.
That's what has come to life here over these really, the last especially 3 years. Okay.
Right.
And so let me give everyone kind of like a little history lesson. So back in the day, back before USA was even formed, you could buy individual stocks, right? In England, you could buy, individual stocks in companies. They had a stock market, all that stuff. So company stocks, equities have been around for a long time, 200, 300 years.
Right.
Then what became popular in about the 1950s or so would be mutual funds. Okay. So then some money managers were sitting around. They were like, hey, what if we could get us a grocery bag or a grocery cart and let's go up and down the aisles of the grocery store and let's pick certain stocks to put in our fund. And maybe we can beat, so then people can buy one holding and hold multiple positions.
Different companies within one investment. Got it.
So those are mutual funds, okay?
Yep.
And so but the problem with those is there's a lot of hands in the cookie jar.
Yeah.
Okay. You got several mutual fund advisors, all this stuff, all these people thinking they're so smart, but they're not doing it for free. Mm-hmm. So that was the case. Then fast forward to Jack Bogle of Vanguard. He broke into the scene here, starting Vanguard in the 90s and introduced exchange traded funds. ETFs. Okay.
Yep.
And so an ETF is where you can buy a diversified, basket of stocks, but it's just a passive basket. Okay. And the cost is ultra low cost. I'm talking like 0.03%. So like 3/100ths of a point.
When in other mutual fund opportunities, you might see 1% type fees.
That's right.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, you could get the low cost ETF. Comparing it to these mutual funds, the cost is a lot lower, and we've started to see massive outperformance by the ETFs. Okay. So it's all great. Everything's great. But now what's happened here in these last few years because of this AI and tech and things is the big boys have just gotten all the money. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of the money's been going to it. And so we have here now, those seven, the Magnificent Seven are massive. And that guy, Gary, he just mentioned it in his audio. He said that of the NASDAQ, the top 7 positions, those 7 Magnificent Seven encompass 64% of that index.
Yeah.
S&P is 34%. It's crazy. He said it's money going out of most and into a few. And you listening, you're not born yesterday. You know that, that I can see how if we get super concentrated in certain companies, certain things, that's never a good idea. Right. And so that's our concern. And when you look at the forward earnings, the PE ratio, the price to earnings ratio, we call it, we've seen NVIDIA be over 100 times their earnings, just ludicrous numbers here. So it's just set for a bubble to something go pop, just pop that thing. And then down goes some of these companies, right? Which is going to pull the whole index.
Right.
Because they're so
weighted. Yeah.
So weighted. Right. Yeah. Another way to think of it, it's like if you go to Vegas and you see these roulette tables, or if you're playing roulette, right? Mm-hmm. You can put chips on numbers 1 through 36. But what if you were to take all of your money and put it on maybe just 2 or 3 and say, spin the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
That's you wouldn't do that. You would say, no. I'm going to maybe make, half of these things. I'm going to put it on half of them, or maybe try to pick 15 positions, right? You want to spread out. You want to diversify because hopefully you get a better chance of hitting,
right.
Of making some money here.
Right.
So that's what you could be doing if you're not careful here. If you're just kind of throwing money in and just buying the S&P, and NASDAQ, you think you're diversified, but think about that. A lot of your positions can all be buying the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have, maybe an overvalued Magnificent Seven, maybe they have maybe they struggle the rest of this year, or the next year or so. And this could be the time when all the other ones that are not overvalued, maybe they have a better chance to kind of rise up and grow and appreciate. Okay. So long little setup there. You asked me, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
How do we, if someone were to come in and say, well, Brandon, what do you think? Am I committing exactly what you talked about? Am I walking around with all this risk and I didn't even know it? And so what we'll do is we'll start with our Morningstar analysis. Okay. It's a risk assessment here. We'll pop in all of your holdings, if they're stocks or mutual funds or ETFs or variable annuities or whatever. You don't even know what you got. bonds and target date funds, all kind of stuff. We type it in there in the software. It's Morningstar, right? So it's not Brandon Bowen's opinion here. This is black and white. Okay, what are you holding? How concentrated are you? And it'll show us our top 10. Okay, so we'll look at your top 10 positions. What are you in? You might have those 10 positions, but they're all buying the same stuff, like I said. And then we'll look and see how much intersection does your portfolio have. Okay, so we'll say, okay, Apple, how many of your positions have Apple? How many have NVIDIA? How many, right? And so, because we might need to start looking at some dividend paying positions, right? Some more income focused, or some energy, things like that, or some consumer staples, things like Johnson & Johnson and Coca-Cola, companies that have been around for a long time, and they're looking to stay steady. They're not going to have that big risk, up and down, heart attack kind of ride here that you're not up for, right? So I want to start with that report, that analysis there. So bring in your statements, bring in everything that you've done, and we'll start working through that, okay? And this is a great time to do it because the markets are calm. The markets are at all-time highs. We're not in this scary, volatile sell-off, crash, bear market, right? Where it's just so much stress going on. And you're like, oh my gosh, do it today because I'm losing money every day, right? That's not the case right now. Right now is a great time to call a timeout and say, all right, hey, Brandon, let's take a look. Let's take a nice, calm, measured, emotionless, analysis here. And so then we'll take a look. We'll say, are you taking the appropriate risk? Are you being diversified? And what I'm going to show you ways is how can you start getting a little more equal weight?
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spread it out nice and easy, so that, when some of these companies have bad quarterly reports and bad earnings and down they go 15, 20%, that's not wrecking, decades of your hard work. Okay. You've got to start looking at rules-based investing. And that is exactly what we do for our clients. It's actually called Market Guard. These are portfolios, proprietary portfolios. You have to be working with me to have access to these portfolios. And we know that 92% of your success in retirement, 92% of your success is determined by proper portfolio construction. It's not timing. It's not getting in or out or ducking and weaving and being cute, right? It's being disciplined, following rules, knowing when to buy, when to hold, when to sell, when to re-enter, right? It's the power of knowing and having this plan in place. And a lot of you listening, if you were honest with yourself, you would say, I don't have a plan. What I do have is I've been working with somebody for a while, and I've just been trusting them. I've been thinking, I guess we're okay. But what I want to offer for you right now, what you deserve, what you need, it's past time here for you to have a second opinion. Okay. And I'm not a high pressure guy. When you come in, that is one thing I can guarantee for you. I can't say guarantee for much.
Right.
But what I will guarantee is we will have a nice, pleasant conversation. I will show you exactly what you're doing. Run that report. We'll look at it right there. You'll see it. We can shake hands and you might just keep doing what you've been doing. If you're self-managing, and you want to keep doing that. And, your spouse trusts you and you have a good then sure, do that. But what might happen is you might go, your eyes might just become open and wide awake to like, oh my gosh, I didn't know A, B, C, D, like all the stuff that we're going to be able to show, the cost of what you're paying, how much risk you're taking, how concentrated you are in certain sectors. So then we'll show you, hey, these are some steps, some small steps, easy steps to spread out that risk. Okay. So if you've saved $500,000 or more and are age 50 or above, we have 5 appointments that I open up every week on my calendar. And I want to invite you to take one of those appointments. Pick up the phone. I know it's right beside you. My number is 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. You can call or text that word. Text the word risk. If you want to text us, 843-890-2400. Text the word risk, and I will know that you want our risk review. You want to have a second opinion on the risk that you're walking around with right now to know what steps you can take right now.
Having a lot of risk is very likely what brought you to the point where you now have $1 million, $2 million, maybe $5 million saved. It's been great for you in your retirement and working years, but now you got to rebalance in your retirement years. And if you're within 5 to 10 years of retirement, this is a great time to be starting this conversation with Brandon, empowering yourself with the information. You don't want to make any crazy rash decisions. You don't want to do everything all at once. So that's why he talks about 50 and above. This is the time to start looking about how to diversify, how to create balance. 843-890-2400. Give us a call to put a time on the calendar or text the word risk. We'll text you back and help you get set up that way as well. 843-890-2400 for that risk review of your retirement savings and investments.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.